Welcome back, everybody, and we're on episode 3 of the 100 Scariest Horror Movie Moments, my legacy series to Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments. We're going through movies from 2000 to 2025 and going down a terrifying memory lane of frights, fears, and everything in between. Remember to get your popcorn, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and strap in for a chaotic ride through 10 more of the scariest horror movie moments. At number 80, our campy bestie with the kill switch, Megan, released in 2022. Directed by Gerard Johnstone and starring Allison Williams, Violet McGraw, and Amy Donald as Megan. It's a mix of Chucky, Black Mirror, and Mean Girls, and the perfect example of how horror in the 2020s got a little more self-aware and a lot more memeable. The scariest moment for me, when Megan accidentally kills that bully in the forest. The setup feels like a typical chase scene that starts with that iconic line,
"This is the part where you run."
It feels like a typical chase scene, until she catches him. The cold look in her eyes, and the calm way she tilts her head, and then the impact. It's horrifying because it's deliberate. You realize Megan isn't losing control. And in that moment, she stops being just a robot and becomes something much scarier, a predator with a purpose. And listen, she may have murdered a few people, but you gotta admit, she ate that dance sequence.
Oh shit.
At number 79 is Unhinged, a movie that hits a little too close to home. Released in 2020 and directed by Derek Borte, starring Russell Crowe, Karen Pistorius, and Gabriel Bateman. There's no ghosts, no demons, and no haunted houses. Just a man having the world's worst morning and deciding that one poor single mom should too. This movie scares me because this kind of violence happens all the time. A simple horn honk, a small argument, and suddenly, someone decides to make you pay for it.
He was a man infuriated, cops say, by the street closures and detours set up for the local parade. Rather than deal with the inconvenience, he's accused of aggressively barreling past the barriers and through the city. The dash cam video has just been released, and we warn you, it's terrifying.
The scariest moment, when the mom realizes that the man she honked at isn't just angry. He's fixated. He's determined to show her what a bad day is. That traffic light scene, where he insists on an apology, it's suffocating and it's unnerving because no one should be that insistent about a horn honk.
But that's where we are in this world today. We seem to have developed a fundamental inability to apologize to anyone for anything. I don't even think you really know what a bad day is. But you're gonna find out.
You feel that dread in your chest because you know people like him exist. Unhinged isn't just a thriller, it's a mirror. A reminder that sometimes the scariest monsters drive sedans and smile when they say, "I just want you to apologize." At number 78 is The Innkeepers, one of those slow burn ghost stories that sneaks up on you long after the credits roll. Released in 2011 and directed by Ty West and stars Sarah Paxton, Pat Healy, and Kelly McGillis. This movie proves that horror doesn't need to scream to be scary. Sometimes it just whispers and makes you laugh until you start to lose your mind. We follow 2 hotel employees working their last weekend before the Yankee Peddler Inn closes for good. And naturally, they decide to go ghost hunting because why not, right? The scariest moment? When Claire goes into the basement. The flashlight flickers, The shadows get longer, and then there she is. Madeline O'Malley's ghost, waiting. The sound design, the stillness, and the hopelessness of that moment, it hits like a brick to the chest. The Innkeepers is quiet horror at its best. It lulls you into comfort and then takes your breath away. And Ty West, well, that man knows how to make you afraid of empty hallways and flickering bulbs. At number 77 is Creep, the found footage nightmare that proves sometimes Craigslist is just a cry for help. This one's simple. A videographer takes a job filming a guy's final message for his unborn kid. Sounds sweet, right? Wrong. Let me be real. Homeboy wouldn't have gotten me because the first time he would have asked me to film his grown ass taking a bath, I would have packed up my tripod and my dignity and left the state. The scariest moment, the first time you see him in that wolf mask, because boy, what you doing? It's playful for about 0.2 seconds, and then you realize he's not kidding. That's the moment you understand. You're trapped with someone who doesn't think he's being weird. He thinks he's being honest. Creep is what happens when awkward meets evil, and they go halfsies on a camera rental. Coming in at number 76 is Five Nights at Freddy's, released in 2023. Directed by Emma Tammy and starring Josh Hutcherson, Matthew Lillard, and Elizabeth Lail. Now, mind you, I was scared of the Enchanted Tiki Room as a child, so this movie, it was a no for me the moment those animatronics twitched. Based on the viral video game that made jump scares an Olympic sport, Five Nights at Freddy's takes the horror of dead-eyed animatronics and turns it into pure nightmare fuel. The scariest moment for me, when the gang of vandals is slaughtered by our favorite murderous animatronic mascots. It's so one by one, and you even get a perfect nod to the bite of 87. Five Nights at Freddy's hits the perfect mix of nostalgia and dread. Childhood wonder turned inside out. It's that one thought we always had at Chuck E. Cheese. What if these things were real? And what if they tried to kill us? At number 75, You're Next, also known as the worst dinner to meet your partner's parents for the first time. You're Next was released in 2011 and directed by Adam Wingard and stars Sharni Vinson, AJ Bowen, Joe Swanberg, and Barbara Crampton. This movie starts classy. Wine, passive-aggressive comments, family tension, and then bam, dinner turns into a bloodbath. The scariest moment? When one poor dude catches a crossbow bolt straight to the forehead. You don't even have time to process it. It's a calm conversation 1 second. Well, calm-ish. And then instant carnage the next. What makes Your Next so good is how fast it flips from awkward to apocalyptic. Kind of like if Meet the Parents wasn't a comedy. And Sharni Vinson, my girl Erin deserves a lifetime horror icon status for being the only one in that house with common sense and survival skills. She's the final girl to root for. Your Next is funny, brutal, and it's chaotic. The perfect mix of family drama and home invasion hell. At number 74 is Disturbia, a movie that makes me miss the 2000 oh so much. Directed by BJ Caruso and stars Shia LaBeouf, Sarah Romer, David Morse, and Carrie Ann Moss, and released in good old 2007. This movie had everything: pop-punk energy, nosy suburban kids, and that perfect mix of I'm grounded and I might have found a serial killer next door. But I'll say this, Cale got set up for failure. His teacher talks shit, knowing his dad died violently right in front of him, and then has the nerve to use it against him. So of course, Cale snaps and ends up on house arrest.
What would your father think?
But in all fairness, talk shit, get hit. What follows is every teen's dream and nightmare. Too much time, too little privacy, and a suspicious neighbor who might be murdering people. The scariest moment? When Cale reviews the footage and realizes that's not imagination, that's a body he's seeing. That moment still makes my stomach drop every single time. Disturbia is suburban paranoia at its peak, and a reminder that sometimes boredom is deadly. At number 73, we've got Host, aka the reason that I side-eye every single Zoom invite since 2020. Also released in 2020 and directed by Rob Savage, starring Haley Bishop, Gemma Moore, Emma Louise Webb, and Carolyn Ward. The movie dropped right in the middle of lockdown, when all of us were at home going stir-crazy and pretending we were fine. And Host said, what if your quarantine group chat accidentally summoned a demon? The scariest moment? The attic scene. Because that's the moment you realize they fucked up. One of the girls goes to check her attic mid-seance. Mid-seance. And it's dark, dusty, and quiet. She pokes her head up there and sees feet dangling, not touching the ground, matching the description of a fake spirit made up during the seance. That's when you know it's over. No apologies, no closing the circle. It's a wrap. The demon is clocked in for the shift. Host is terrifying because it feels so real. The glitchy webcams, the dark corners, the way everyone's screaming on mute. It's the perfect example of how horror evolved with the times. And honestly, if my friends invited me to a Zoom seance, I'm faking Wi-Fi issues 5 minutes in. Y'all got me messed up. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hell no, to the no, no, no.
At 72, we've got Grave Encounters, released in 2011 and directed by the Vicious Brothers, starring Sean Rogerson, Ashley Grisco, and Juan Reitinger. It's a movie that said, what if Ghost Adventures wasn't fake and everyone actually died? It starts off funny. A group of paranormal TV hosts locking themselves in an abandoned psychiatric hospital overnight to get content. They're smug, they're skeptical, they're doing it for the views. But the scariest moment, when they wake up and realize the sun never comes up. The hallway loops. The building won't let them leave. That's the instant you know they're trapped in something that doesn't play by earthly rules. From there, it's pure chaos. Walls move, faces distort, and the air gets thicker with every scene. Grave Encounters is creepy because it's about arrogance. People thinking they can taunt the dark and walk away. And spoiler alert, you can't. This is the one that made me swear I'd never ghost hunt. And if I ever do, the minute a wheelchair moves on its own, you are on your own. At number 71 is Session 9. The movie that made asbestos cleanup look like a one-way trip to the seventh circle of hell. Released in 2001 and directed by Brad Anderson, starring Peter Mullen, David Caruso, Stephen Gividon, and Josh Lucas. A crew of guys take a job cleaning out an abandoned mental hospital. Easy money, right? Once again, wrong. The deeper they go into the building, the heavier everything feels. The air, the silence, the memories. And then one of them finds the therapy tapes of a former patient named Mary Hobbs.
Why did you do it, Simon?
Because Mary let me talk.
The scariest moment? When he plays those recordings. The calm voice of the psychiatrist, Mary switching personalities mid-sentence, and the final question, do you remember Simon? And Simon's voice answers. That's the moment you realize the evil here isn't ghosts. It's trauma festering so long, it grew teeth. Session 9 crawls under your skin because it's quiet horror. No jumps, just dread. It's about how places and people absorb pain until it starts talking back.
So that's 10 more of the scariest horror movie moments. This has been episode 3, and I hope you all have enjoyed. We're gonna have 10 more in episode 4, and trust me, the scares are getting more intense as the list goes on. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the 100 Scariest Horror Movie Moments.